See, this is my Tuesday morning simp rant. I tried to stay away from this topic. But any attempt at any type of consequence or accountability or any bad behavior by women is automatic reversed by him back to being the man's fault. He gets his identity. His whole life is centered around pre-owned. He will do anything to secure pre-owned, maintain a flow of pre-owned, even if it's delivered to him in a disrespectful manner. And it's usually that guy who has been raised in a feminine environment, no masculine men, raised in an environment that worships women, matriarchal culture. He's accustomed to being bitch-led. His whole mindset and mentality is about pleasing women. He sees his identity to serving women, worshiping women. It's horrible. Especially that guy who finally bought the woman that wouldn't have dated him when he was 21, that wouldn't have dated him when he was 25. But now she's older. I don't even want to use and beat up on Boyce Watkins, but he's an example of that. Women rejected him in her early 20s when she was young and fertile and fresh and tight. And then when she's older, after 3 kids and being married, they're the ones that are happy to get these alpha widows. These women that have mismanaged their youth or whatever else. But they just happy they have somebody. And they've surrendered their whole balls, their masculinity, their manhood. And they will come after you. They will come after any man who lives life free on his term that has any type of masculinity. Then you have the dirty Mac Simps. These are the dudes who come and they argue with us on these websites, call men and that do men's content. Oh, you guys is a bunch of weak. They talk about red pill and passport bros and all this other manosphere shit. That shit is just side effects of a dysfunctional society where men have been disrespected. Systematically, the attempt to feminize men. Or some dude who's sitting down like a bitch with his legs crossed like a woman. That's the dude who's probably washing his woman's panties at night. He's doing all of the domestic chores and paying all the bills, and she's basically a load, but he's so happy to get some marital missionary once a week. She's running him. She controls his life. She probably sends him over here to harass us. He has nothing left of his dignity. In his whole life, as long as he has a woman, he'll accept anything. Abuse, mistreatment, disrespect. He's out here validating women on social media. He thinks that because he's just on a woman's OnlyFans account, that he's not engaging in prostitution, digital prostitution. You are patronizing hookers. You don't have any moral authority or moral virtue. If you have an OnlyFans account with a woman, you're worse. You're worse than any trick. At least a trick gets to vigorously and viciously pound the woman out and gets a physical and mental release, and he tosses her over the shoulder to the next man in line. That's not a simp or a jellyback. That's just a man paying for service, like he pays for the electric bill, he pays for his car wash, he pays to get his oil change, and he moves on. But you are patronizing digital prostitutes. There's nothing, well, I don't agree with any of this stuff. Again, this stuff is, as far as I'm concerned, for the purpose of this channel, is illegal activities that I don't support. Peaceful life. Go ahead and tell it to the YouTube people. But you're a John. If you have that's worse than a John. Well, I have more respect for Johns, because look, John will get some, at least that's real world. He puts some hands on some hips, and he go Uncle Earl, and he leaves with an empty sack and a smile on his face. But you're sitting around fantasizing of a digital image. And we know that married men, and their own, many, not all, some good married brothers out here, let me clear that for the record. Every married man's not the same, just like every woman's not the same. You out here stroking, holding your meat, watching a digital image of a woman. There's nothing more pathetic than that. A man pays for online. The services are, the hub is free with your old personal relationship. A married guy sitting at home, not in a sexless marriage. You're paying all the bills, all the finances, and you have a load in the house, and the only relationship you have is with a digital image. But that's be the same guy to come in here, start talking shit to us. Oh, you know. Or that guy in the honeymoon phase. Honeymoon phase of relationship. He doesn't realize that his balls is being strategically clipped on a daily basis. But he comes in here and he tries to lecture us. Like we're not men with experience, knowledge. I'm 51 years old, 22 years law enforcement, domestic, child custody battles. I've done so many child custody exchanges. I've done the fake restraining orders. I've typed them up. You're not talking to some bullshit content creator. You're talking to a man with experience. And that's why these guys come in here, they get cooked. You're not talking with somebody who doesn't know what he's talking about. I am content. I don't have to imagine content. Life experience gives me content. I've done all the domestics. You know, I've worked the cases where dudes have dropped to their death, jumped to their death, deleted themselves. They've deleted others too, but that's a whole nother story. So I've looked them in the eye and had conversations with individuals. I've helped carry out the stiff bodies. So you're talking to the wrong guy. You talk about life experience. So I understand the mentality and the mindset of these jellybacks, compromised men. I would say that systematically this has been created. Obviously, they wanted women working to make money. They wanted men feminized so they could control them, so that they can hand over the money to women so they can do more spending. I get it. Systematically, we've created this in the society through laws, through the government, through corporate sponsorship of feminism, through a certain ruling class and elite that want to manipulate, brainwash, and create this population of jellyback men. But they are destroyers of community. And the reason why they're destroyers of community, because they created an environment of mediocrity. They validate low functioning, low quality, trash women. Not the good women. The good women, like I said, I got to show respect to them. But they validate low quality women and they come after men who hold them accountable. Because they don't challenge women to be good people. Every failure sometimes is because the person is a horrible person. It has nothing to do with gender. Some people are just terrible people. But we hold that standard to men. But these jellyback white knights, they'll take anything. Women that are morbidly obese, women that have bad attitude, women that have have no skills, and they violate the social contract. Just to be close to a woman or have a woman, or that gives them purpose in their life. Doesn't matter what quality they are. They will dirty Mac, white knight, simp. They live by no code of manhood. So the jellyback is men's worst enemy today. It's not even feminism. It's not even modern women. It is the jellyback. He will sell any man out. Every female failure is man's responsibility in his mind. A woman, like I said, I was watching a video of a woman assaulting a man. And the jellybacks was in there saying, oh, you know what? He shouldn't allow her to do. Yes, she shouldn't allow her to do that to him. But if he turned around and cold cocked her, you seen jellybacks. Oh, you shouldn't be hitting the woman. You shouldn't be hitting the woman. You should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Man, look. A man you have to protect your life and your safety. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying individuals have a right to stop a threat and not to be violently assaulted by anybody. Period. But you can't tell it to the jellybacks because they trying to operate under an old social contract that doesn't exist anymore. In that contract, women were taught not to hit men and men were taught not to hit women. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. Nobody should be hitting anybody. It's uncivilized behavior. Anyhow, but the jellyback is the number one enemy of men today. Even worse than the feminists or anything else. It's other men who gain their identity through simping for low-quality women, validating them. Anyhow, that's my simp rant for this morning. They are destroyers of community. They are pervasive. They spread like a virus. Once you identify, let me tell you something. If you see around a bitch-led dude, manage your information. Because everything you say to him is being reported to the queen. He don't respect himself. He's treasonous. He cannot be trusted. Anybody that is controlled by box or controlled by bitches, well, controlled by money too, but that's a whole other story. If somebody will do anything for money, you got to watch them too. You can't trust them dudes. They'll sell you out in a second to please the queens. If he acts different around women, you with him and you cool, and all of a sudden he's around women, he start talking jokes or try to clown you or disrespect or say goofy shit out the side of his mouth to impress women. If his whole life is centered around impressing women, you can't trust that dude because he'll do whatever he has to do, sell you out, betray you, whatever to keep or get or acquire pre-owned box. You can't trust dudes like that. That's why I don't have, anytime I notice a man that's controlled by a box or a jellyback, keep him at arm's length. We discuss things that are superficial in nature. Yo, it's a good weather today, right? Yeah. Good stuff, man. Or any dude that's bitch-led, you got to keep them at arm's length. Because their only mission and thought in life is to keep that queen happy. Anyhow, guys, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace and blessings, you guys. Now I'm going to go work out. I've got my simp rant out for the year. Peace and blessings, gentlemen. Have a good day.